Hey, Road Dog here. While I was at Days of the Dead, I had met a gentleman there called Paul Gunn. He is an actor that comes from Thailand. I got him to come to my studio, which this was really cool. I just got my studio done, and he's the first interview I did in it. But we had a lot in common. I mean, we sat and we talked. The interview actually went about 3 hours, man, and I'm gonna have to break it up. You know, nobody wants to sit for 3 hours and watch something, you know. But we talked about our lives. We talked about him coming from Thailand, coming here to the United States, in Texas, and then ending up in California, how he got into acting and everything. So it was a really great interview, and Paul, I really appreciate it once again. But I hope you enjoyed this interview. Peace, love, dog out. Hey, Road Dog here. I am sitting here with Paul Gunn. This interview right here, thank you, sir. I really appreciate you coming to my house and doing this. I really do.
It's my pleasure, brother.
Thank you, man.
You have a beautiful place, and thanks for telling me about yourself, too.
Thank you, man. Let's go back. Let's go way back. Okay, Thailand, Bangkok. Tell me how you was when you came over. Just give me a little bit of where you came to.
So my family and I are from Thailand, and it's about 50 miles north of Bangkok. It's called Ayutthaya, which is the former capital of Thailand before Bangkok. My aunt married an American serviceman, and they moved here. They petitioned for my mom and me to come to America, so we moved to the States in the mid 1970s, and we settled in first. We lived in New Mexico for a little while, and then moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
How old were you?
I was 4.
4, okay,
Yeah,
so you kind of got a Gene Simmons story there from Kiss.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he came over from Israel.
Okay.
His dad left them, and then she was trying to work, and then they come to New York, you know. So he's got this survival story and everything, and he loves America, you know, because of what has happened and what he could do, you know, and everything. So you kind of got the same story. So what had? So you went to where in Texas?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah. And
So did you grow up there, or?
I grew up in Dallas. I stayed there until I got to my 20s, and about 8, 9, 10 years old, I was living in a suburb called Irving, and there were a group of neighborhood kids that lived like around the intersection of our neighborhood, and we used to get together and we would play like basketball or tag or football or smear the queer or ride bikes together. So they were my neighborhood friends.
Smear the queer. That's funny, man.
I don't know if that's politically correct these days, but that's what it was called. I don't know. I didn't name it, but
no offense, right?
Anyways, moving on. We had this weird. One of the activities that we used to get together and do was that was about the 80s, and back in the 80s was when MTV came around, and MTV used to show music videos 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Good music.
Good.
Man.
Yeah, that was a time when you used to have talent.
Sad thing is that they no longer exist, man. They just went down. They're gone.
It's
83 though. That's a long run now.
Sure. My neighborhood kid friends and I would get together, and we used to watch these music videos, and then we'd play music on our little jam boxes, and there would be one kid who had like pens or pencils, and they're like hitting like a table or something, and there would be like a couple of other kids that had like tennis rackets, and they would flip them upside down and pretend like they were guitar.
Yeah.
I was about this tall, and I had an upright vacuum cleaner. And so I was always a singer. So I had this weird, I don't know, for some reason, it felt like when I was most alive or most carefree and happy, because I'm interacting with my friends and we're all working together, pretending like we're creating music.
Like you're a band.
Yeah.
So the handle of the vacuum cleaner.
The vacuum cleaner is my microphone.
Yeah, there you go.
And I had this weird notion as a child that I wanted to be a singer from that point on. And so I would always enroll in choir class. And I learned singing and sight reading and how to read a musical notation. And Every Good Boy Does Fine.
So you actually read notes and can write music. Can you write music?
I have never written anything.
No.
I know a little bit enough about it too, but chords are they're kind of but although like I have a good friend of mine that hi Chris, by the way, he said that he's my business partner, Chris, and he's explained to me that if you know chord 1 and you know chord 5 and you know chord 4, then you could it usually
Get it together,
it transitions and music follows kind of a pattern.
Well, my dad used to always say, if you know 3 chords, you can play guitar.
Right.
And he tried to teach me to play guitar. I got to where I could play a little bit, but I didn't like my fingers hurting and all that kind of thing. So I picked up drums.
Oh yeah.
And I did drums.
You could play in all the keys.
Yeah. But now anymore, like I said, the bike wreck I got in catching up on me. I can't do. I could sit down rat-a-tat-tat for about 30 seconds and that'd be about it,
Okay. Oh man, that must have been how fast were you going?
Well, what had happened is I was in the right lane and the lady in the left lane wanted to go into the bank and she cut me off. So how fast I was going, I'm not really sure. I know we were going through the light and we just had got going. So I hit her probably at 15, 20 mile an hour.
Okay.
But I hit her on the side. I went up on the top of the car, went under the front, and then she run me over.
Oh, wow.
Well, she thought I was here, so she backed up, which at that point balled me all up and busted me out. I had 4 broken ribs, 3 fractured. The fractured ones come through the skin. 2 of them snapped right in half, and they fused them back together.
Oh.
That's like I told you that I went down a couple years ago when I went to go meet Danny Coker.
Okay.
The doctor come in, he goes, does your right side hurt? I said, no, that's from years ago. He said, well, x-rays, we can't tell if they're fresh or whatever. He said, I just saw all this break on your, he said, I wanted to make sure I said, yeah, it was from years ago. So.
Oh, God. I'm sorry that happened. I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah.
Like,
traumatized, and I'll say that, I mean, one time in particular, well, actually 2, but my Uncle Tom would faint at the sight of blood, and I seen it happen. So when I came to and saw Uncle Tom at the foot of the bed, I knew I was mad. It was like, and then I saw Les, which was my dad's cousin, at the end of the bed. And I was like, ooh, that must be real bad if Les is here, What had happened, my mom and dad went on vacation. The day after they left, I got in the wreck. What happened, my mom gave me the keys. Dad had the truck up against the garage. He had my motorcycle locked up, my Mach 1, and Mom.
you had a Mustang Mach 1?
Oh, yeah, it was, 1976.
That must have been
got
the color.
Baby blue.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. See, now I'm going to have to put it up on picture. Yeah. But it had a 351 Boss in it. Okay. Dad took it away because I got caught doing 144 mile an hour down the highway. Cops chasing me. They were trying to get me to pull over, And the funny thing is I was going from one Pizza Hut to the other that I was working at.
Oh yeah.
And I got.
Were you delivering?
No, I was just trying to get to the other one to close it, And I'm there and I'm looking through the window, you know, and all of a sudden I see my dad out there. I could see, you know, where they walked up to. I was like, oh shit. And I could see him turning red, you know. I was like, oh shit. And then here comes the bailiff guy or whatever he was. He said, Mr. Jenkins, you can go. I was like, mm-mm, I'm not going nowhere. I said, my dad's mad out there. He said, no, you gotta go, you know. And I was telling this to Linda the other day. What were you doing? What were you thinking? Blah, 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 you know. And then next thing you know, and I wake up in the driveway, you know. You know, and after that, I never got that car back. But another story, our garage was burned down, car burnt, bike burnt, you know.
Oh, wow.
Everything, you know. But like I said, that's another story. We're here by you.
Yeah, hey, hey, it's all just material objects and they can
Yeah,
replace.
yeah, oh yeah.
And yeah.
I got another one after that though. I got another 71 black and gold, or black with the silver stripes and all that. Had the 429 Cobra Jet in it. And it was my wife's car.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Did you wreck it?
no.
Okay.
I owed mom and dad some money, so they kind of took it until I paid them.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then I paid them and I got it back. And I had a kill switch in it.
Okay.
And got up to go to work one morning. I worked at Metro Airport in Detroit. It's like, where's the car? And my wife at the time, Brenda, she was like, well, Roseanne used it to go to the store. It's out front. I said, well, it ain't there no more. And we had a kill switch and she didn't turn on. So we never saw that car again.
Oh, no.
You know, that was a bad motor scooter right there.
Sure, sure.
That 429.
That's.
What kind of cars have you had?
Oh God! I mean, like, you know, to be honest with you, I've lived the life of an artist for a long time, and you know, like when you're an artist, oftentimes money can be a challenge, and you're taking whatever gigs come along. Because I had an agent when growing up and stuff. I've always had an agent. And I fortunately had never. My last 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job was in 1999, and so like a consistent earning schedule was not really part of the cards that I was dealt, that I experienced anyways. So I tended to have like more economic cars, Toyota Corollas and Echoes. Like,
well, I grew up through that hot rod era where you know, the Nova SS, the Mach 1 and Chevelle.
What was your favorite car?
The Mach 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the one with the 429.
Okay.
It was the wife's car.
Hey, look what I got you! Oh, you don't want to drive it? I guess I'll drive it. It's kind of like giving your wife a bowling ball.
Yeah. Same here, you can't use it, you know. But at that same time, I had a '77 Corvette. Stingray.
I had a Corvette.
Yeah,
I had a 90.
I love that car.
98. It was a C5. What was you had a?
Mine's Stingray.
Okay. 70s?
Yeah, 76 Stingray.
Those are nice.
Yeah. T-tops, brown, golden.
Okay.
I love that car.
I had a, what was it called? I think it's a target top. It's just one piece.
Oh, yeah. It's popped off.
Yeah. But,
mine was 2 pieces, and it was cool. And there was a place in Michigan called Heinz Drive. Mm-hmm. And, you know, everybody partying, frisbee, picnicking, getting high, drinking. And it was when you could do all that back in the late 70s, you know, and early 80s. And I would tool through there with my wife, you know, once in a while, hey, Dom, hey, baby, you know. And then next thing you know, she went on a warpath about that car, man.
Oh, yeah?
So I ended up getting rid of it, and I got a Chevy Blazer at that time, which was a year old. You know?
Oh, okay. Well,
she took that over. That was hers at that time, you know.
So the Mustang was your favorite car?
Yeah.
Or were you?
Yeah.
I had it was a 94 Mustang. It was convertible, and I mean, it was fun to drive. And I liked it at the time. I was in my
And that 5.0, right?
No, it was a
No?
V6.
V6?
I wish I had that. I wish I did. But I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I could either buy the 5.0 or I could get a convertible. And I was like, okay, I kind of wanted a convertible
Yeah,
at the time.
yeah.
So I ended up buying a convertible. But after I got my Corvette, I don't know, I didn't really want a Mustang anymore. Since then, I kind of converted.
Oh yeah, man,
Yeah.
get that damn Corvette.
I don't know why. I don't know. It was like I like 2-seater, 2-door
Yep.
cars.
Yep. Well, my vet, I know it had the Hemi in it.
Oh really?
You know, so
Okay.
and this is Tom,
Mm.
my that I call brother. He's my cousin.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, okay. Here's the Ace Frehley guitar.
Oh wow. Okay.
Signed by Ace. And I still
Dude.
have it.
Nice. Okay.
And I'm trying to get the rest, but old Gene wants $750 to sign the thing, and it's like, come on, dude.
750.
$50, you know. So
So
I
that's-
did photos for
Uh-huh.
Ace,
Oh yeah.
and he played it and handed it to me.
Oh wow.
And then when I went back, he signed it and everything for me, and it's been in the case ever since, you know.
Sure.
So that's one of my pride and joys. But yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
bro right there,
Oh,
man. That's
wow,
Tom.
that's nice, man.
Miss you, brother.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you've had like a pretty interesting life too, because like I got to talking to Road Dogg before we came into this interview, and he was telling me about so much of the stuff that he's got to do. So I'm like, oh wow, that's amazing, man. What about this and what about that? And so it's like, well, he asked me to be interviewed, but I'm like, you know, having a fun time learning
Yeah.
about your
Well, see,
history.
one thing you got to understand about me, when I sit down to do an interview, I'm not your typical interviewer that's going to go by the list.
So
You know, I have this just to remind me of some things, you know.
well,
But I like to sit down and talk about you, talk about me, and just talk about life in general of what's happened, what's went on. That's why some of my interviews, you know, go to hour and a half.
okay.
And then I divide them up, you know.
Hey, man.
But,
As long as I'm not boring you
oh, you ain't
and your
boring me, brother.
other viewers, and
I'm glad I met you. I did see you. I remember seeing you at the film festival, the Chandler Film Festival. And
Yeah.
you said that at that time, was that your wife or your
my
girlfriend?
girlfriend,
Okay.
yeah, Joanna Z. Heckman.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? and
Oh
what
yeah,
happened?
thank you so much for asking. She's played a huge part in my development in life, and I think the relationship that I had before her, I was married to a Venezuelan actress, and she was a gymnast, and that was like racked with a lot of I had to watch what I say. And
One question.
sure.
Are they demanding? Do they want what they want? I have a friend, that's
Okay.
why I'm
Yeah,
asking.
yeah.
Mike
No.
in Florida.
Okay.
He dealt with this woman for
Okay.
years and their kids, and it's just a big mess.
She was always afraid, concerned that I would meet somebody else.
Leave, yeah,
and
yeah.
So, yeah. So that every day was like kind of walking on eggshells and kind of trying to predict, oh, how are they going to interpret this text message or this phone call that I just got late at night, and I don't usually get phone calls late at night. Or there's times when I would get out of a show. I was in about 5 different shows on the Las Vegas Strip, and the show would end, and I'd text my wife at the time, and I'd be like, oh, so-and-so is having a birthday party, and I'm going to go and hang out with them.
Kind of jealous type thing, or just the worry
It's
about
like, you know, like she was concerned with watching out for red flags and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
I didn't mean to get you
Yeah,
off.
it's
of
okay.
that.
So, after having gone through that, because every day was walking on eggshells, trying to foresee how she might misinterpret something, and so after I got through that, and then I met Joanna, who was my girlfriend that passed away, it was like a breath of fresh air. She loved life.
Totally different.
Yeah, and she was very supportive.
Made life
Had
a lot
a
better.
crazy, silly, funny sense of humor, and made jokes about stuff, and made light of things. And I think when I was with my ex-wife, I had to, kind of think ahead, and because there's certain topics that you couldn't talk about with her because it would trigger stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a lot of times I was filtering what I was
What
going
you
to say.
said, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But getting with Joanna, everything was, there were no.
From light, dark to
It
light.
was just
man.
you were free to say whatever you want to, laugh about it, and then life goes on. You don't,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it made me into a better actor in that I was no longer filtering or having to go, oh, I shouldn't say that, or oh, they're gonna interpret this the wrong way or whatever. It was like, oh well, that's because you gained a lot of weight, or and we'd laugh about it, and then she would just let it go, and then we were free to move on and progress and do other things. So
What happened with her?
she had a lot of medical issues prior to meeting me. In 2001, Joanna was working at the Star Trek The Experience show at the Las Vegas.
I remember that. Yeah.
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 So anytime when a casino, if their electricity goes off, backup generators would activate so that people could continue, playing on the slot machine or ordering drinks or whatever. So she was on a break in the green room of the Las Vegas Hilton, and the electricity went off, the diesel generators kicked in, one of them exploded, and they were located close to the green room, and that sent a lot of diesel fumes in the air, and she inhaled some. It took away about a third of her lung capacity. So there was a breathing issue. She had COPD, chronic
Oh, then that just
something pulmonary stuff. So
we had a friend of
whenever,
mine that's got that real bad.
okay,
That just took her down right there.
yeah. So whenever there was like something that was burning or a diesel smell, it would affect her. So there was that. And then in 2003, a couple of years later, she got into a really bad car accident. She was in a convertible Mustang, and she was in the passenger seat. They made a left-hand turn, and some guy in an SUV ran a red light and hit her and
On her side.
and she went flying. And then she broke over 10 bones in her body, and they didn't quite heal correctly. And so, and last year, about this time, this is February now, so about a year ago in January, there was the fires in Los Angeles,
Yeah, I remember.
Palos Verdes and Malibu and stuff. And so her pulmonary issues, she would start coughing, and her air passages would tighten and constrict. There was that, and then along with her bones not healing correctly, it presented like a lot of pain. She suffered through a lot of pain in her life, and
Believe me, man, I can relate with you. I mean, like I told you, I lost my wife, man, and there she is.
oh wow, okay.
And then behind you.
Is that Cheech and Chong?
Yeah, where they signed and.
Oh man, that's cool.
Oh, Chi, he was tired right there.
Oh
Then
wow.
you got her again behind you,
Oh, okay.
down underneath Ace. There she
Oh,
is.
yeah?
Ace.
Oh wow.
This is what happened. I was with her 8 years. I did not breathe a word about Road Dog. I was on the road. I was in Manhattan, and I was at the Javits Center. We're doing the show. My truck was so big. I had the big sleeper on it, full size bed in it, kitchenette, the whole 9 yards. When you see the interview, you'll see it. And I was asleep, just went to sleep. And normally, when I look unavailable, I don't answer it, but for some reason I answered it. And she goes, "I bet you don't know who this is." Sherry, I would never forget her accent. She was a little redneck hillbilly.
Okay.
And I was like, "Hey, Sherry, I know who this is, She asked me, she said, "Are you with anybody?" I said, "No, not right now." "Why?" "What are you doing?" And she said, "Waiting for you to get here and get me." Well, I'd only had an hour's sleep. And I went and I called in and I told them, I cannot go back out after this. I waited for the trailer to get empty, which was like another hour. And I took off from Manhattan to pretty well Knoxville, Tennessee, about like 30 miles south of there. And I got till like 2 in the morning, and I just couldn't stay awake anymore. So what a lot of truck drivers would do is just lay over the steering wheel,
Okay.
get you a little cat nap, and take back off.
Did you have a sleeper?
Oh yeah, I had that big one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 338 wheelbase, okay? You can take that in half, and that's a regular truck, okay? So I had, like I said, the full-size bed, kitchenette, had a bathroom and a shower, and just the whole 9 yards in it, because I ran Mayflower,
Okay.
So I went and got her and everything, and me and her, down through the years, on again, off again, break up, and I would go through town. "Hey, what are you doing? Come on, stop and see me, So stop, see, bingy, bing, bingy, and take off, And that was kind of the relationship we had, But in 2009, that's when I went and got her, and I was with her for the rest of her life. Come to find out, she had done so much cocaine, I'm surprised she even lived, And when I picked her up, she was all about 88 pounds. I mean, and granted, she was probably this tall to me, And well, as you can see here, well, I'm crouched down, but she's standing.
Oh, really?
Okay,
Okay.
So.
Oh,
But
wow.
she was just a little itty bitty, and I took her and I didn't take her back home. I just kept her with me, She was born in Oceanside, California. Never been there. Her dad was a Marine. He was on the base there in Oceanside, so that's why she was born there. So I told her I would take her and have her, be able to see where she was born. We couldn't go on the base, but we went to Oceanside,
Okay, yeah.
And the funny thing was, I got there, unloaded. Now, California, the purple trees, leaves, and all that. And she was like, "Oh my God, I love this," because she'd never seen that before. She'd never been to Cal. Well, we take off going back to New York. And I'm going to tell you, the whole way we saw purple flowers
Okay.
all the way to Pennsylvania. And she was like, "Daddy's giving me purple flowers." At this point, he was past her dad, And she just loved that, But we got married on 11/11/11.
Okay.
Okay. One story real quick. When we first got together, I took her to go get Derek, which is my son. That's how I look at him. To go get shoes and some clothes. He had to go to school and she didn't have money, So I went and got her what she needed, At this time, this was the first time I'd seen her in quite a while. We never dated at this point. This was 96, okay? And this is when we first got together. My dad was always, he could have been a preacher, but he never did. I was raised Southern Baptist, you know. And Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, anytime the youth group did anything, I had to be there. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. I had to, which in the long run made me a better person. You know, I hated it as younger, but you know, he was there. What are you doing? Because I was married, getting ready to go through a divorce. What are you doing? You got a wife in Michigan. Blah 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 blah. I said, Dad, I'm just trying to help her out. You know. So that was 95, yeah, 95. Okay, then it was 2009 when we got back together. We got married 11/11/11. Well, back in 95, she told me, I see 11/11 all the time. I'm like, okay. Well, at that point, I started seeing it on the clock, 11/11, address 11/11, truck come by 11/11, the license plate 11/11, you know. And it's like, oh, come on. Then when we'd be broke up, you know, for instance, one time, Sandra, girl I went out with, we're going down the road, and I see 11/11. It was like, fuck you, Sandra, or fuck you, Sherry, you know, because we were apart, you know. But she used to say 11/11. If you take 11/11, what is that? That's 22. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, 11/11 and 22 to me are bad numbers. I'm like, they're not bad numbers. It's all in your head. So when 11/11/11 came along, I said, let's get married. Let's make good of these numbers, you know. So she was like, yeah, okay. And made good of the numbers, she thought, you know. Well, she passed on 11/22, which if you cut that 22 in half is 11/11/11. You know, so she actually knew the date of her death,
Okay.
you know, and it was the next day, the 23rd. I was so out of it, I was like, what's the date today? I got to know when she passed, you know. And it hit me. Oh God, I cried. When I realized that she knew her date, it tore me up.
Yeah.
And like I told you, I dealt with it, had friends and stuff, but February, I go to the KISS concert over here in Laughlin. Next day, they were supposed to play at the Staples Center. They canceled the show because of COVID. And then next thing you know, everything shut down.
Shut down, yeah.
Nobody would come over, nobody would nothing. I mean, everybody stayed in, locked down, you know, and that like to drove me crazy. Then my dog, and I had him for 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's like the cop was there. She was like, I locked him in the bathroom. She was on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And he, and she goes, would you go in and let that poor baby out here? So I went and got Zeus and I took him up to Sherry, let her see her. I said, tell Mama goodbye. You know, and then we went outside and she was like, thank you, you know. But like I told you, he had stuck around, you know, just to help me. And then bro, he went just, you know, January.
Is there something that you feel that you were able to take from this that helped you, that made a difference in your life?
Yeah, it made me realize that God does certain things to you for a reason. And that reason at that particular time, it was hard on me, it devastated me, but it helped me for this man right here.
Okay.
And it helped me for Vern to be able to help her, and because she would be like, I can't do this. I just can't do this. I don't even want to be around. I can't, you know. And I'd be like, Vern, no, you can do this, you know. And fortunately, at that time, I was hauling Airstream campers, and it was my stuff, so I could stay there as long as I needed, you know. So I stayed with her and helped her and got her through things, you know. And at that point, it was like, thank you, Lord, because at that point, I realized why I went through what I went through. was to actually help her. You know, I would, like I said, I was raised Baptist. I am a firm believer in God, and there's a reason for everything that happens. And you're not going to change it, be it good, be it bad. You know, and sometimes bad can turn into good later. And it helped me to deal with his death. That was me and Tom, man. We were brothers, and like I told you earlier, if I introduced somebody to Tom, this is my brother Tom, and he did the same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just a few days before he died, we were out on the porch, and he was like, "Would you pray with me?" I'm like, "Certainly, man." You know, how do you pray a prayer of death, knowing he's dying, knowing he's only got just a short amount of time? You know, and he wasn't with his son at that time. They weren't getting along. I had Tommy's number. He's like, "Would you call Tommy?" I called Tommy, so they got back together, you know. And, you know, just God does certain things and helps you, you know. I'm sure with your passing,
Yeah.
you know, you had to have things that helped you.
Yeah. I did, and initially, because I found Joanna in our bathroom the next morning that I woke up. Like I said goodnight to her. She was I went to bed at like 3 in the morning, and I gave her a kiss goodnight, and she said she was going to stay up and work on.
I'm getting goosebumps, dude. Go ahead.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll tell
I had
you.
a gig in Las Vegas the following weekend at the Palms, and so I was supposed to wear this outfit, and she was working on the headpiece that I was supposed to wear. So she said that she was going to stay up and work on this headpiece. I said, "Okay, I'm going to go to bed. I love you. Good night." And I gave her a kiss, and I went to bed. And then the next day I woke up, my business partner says, "Hey, you should check on Joe because she hasn't been answering the phone, and she's not accepting phone calls." And the door to our bathroom was locked, and I was like knocking on it, and then I was like getting worried because she didn't answer, and I was calling her on the phone, and I was like, "Oh no, what's going on?" I got a credit card and fished open the lock, and I opened the door, and she was on the floor. And I tried to shake her. I thought she passed out, fell asleep or something, and she wouldn't respond. Her face and her neck had turned kind of a bluish color. And I tried to give her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. She wasn't responding. We called the ambulance. They showed up. And I, said, "Okay, she's in the bathroom right here." And then, after a couple of minutes, one of the paramedics came on. They said, "I'm sorry, sir.
Nothing they can do." Yeah.
And so I lost it, and it's my first experience with death, especially with someone near me.
You know, when it's a mother, a father, a cousin, a aunt or uncle, it's totally different, man. When you lose somebody that is that you're married to or you've been with, that's a different kind of relationship, and it hits hard, or it did with me.
It did.
Now, what you said a minute ago when I got the goosebumps, I kissed my wife goodnight about 3 in the morning. She was on the couch. We were watching 3 from Hell, Rob Zombie's movie, okay? And I went to bed. Zeus come in, oh, whoa, 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 and I thought he wanted to go to the bathroom because normally that's what he did. So I got up and I went, and man, as soon as I hit the kitchen, I could see her. I knew she was gone, The lips, they're white, She hadn't got to the blue part. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
But
Hey,
I'm telling you, man.
I'm sorry, brother. And
Thank you.
I
I'm
know
sorry
that you
for
went
you
through the
too,
same thing.
man. Yes.
But since then,
Makes you stronger.
it does. Yeah. I've been able to process it and reframe it a little differently since, because she did have that struggle with the medical issues, and she was in pain a lot. She didn't show it to people, but there were days when it was just her and me, or nights, and she said it felt like she had a hot poker, stabbing her in her, like, glute. And so she no longer has to endure that anymore. And I think that the things that I've been listening to, the things that I've been reading about, when you pass away, and these are people that have had near-death experience, and they said that you're engulfed by this unconditional love and light, and you don't feel scared. You feel like you're going back to some place that you've been before.
Yeah.
And and that you're reunited with people that have passed before. And so she's in a better place.
That's right.
And knowing
Seems
her,
reassuring.
she
Very
would be
nice.
running around, and she would talk to Jimi
Yeah.
Hendrix,
Yes.
David
yes.
Bowie, Freddie Mercury,
Yeah.
George Michael. She loved music,
Yeah.
and she would probably, has been able to have a sort of a dialogue
Yeah.
with these talented, gifted, creative, passionate artists, because that's what her existence was about. So, so she's no longer in pain. She's in a better place than we are, and she's, people that have moved on, we will reunite with them.
Yep.
At a point
Yep.
in time when
Sure
the
will.
time is right. So, and you don't have to doubt that. It's already scheduled,
Yeah.
is what I've heard.
We just don't know when.
We just don't,
Yeah.
and the time will come when that will happen. So, you're free to go on and live your life, and your loved one would want you to
Yes.
live a good, long life that's memorable, that mattered to you. They would want you to succeed and to feel prosperity and abundance and love, and yeah. So I'm looking at my life now, my existence, and I will pass on the things that she taught me.
Yeah.
But
She would want you to be happy, to
Yeah.
go on with life. That was some conversations that were so hard when I died, because she knew she was dying.
yeah,
She had melanoma and cancer,
okay,
and we just knew it was a matter of time. I don't want you to grieve me. I want you to go on with your life. Find somebody else, And then it's like me and Linda, it just happened.
okay.
I wasn't looking for anybody. I
That's
didn't
cool.
care.
That's great when that happens. too.
Yes, But man, I can relate with you so much.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I appreciate it.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you. No,
man.
that's it's part of life.
Yeah.
And like it's made me reanalyze things, and the people that love you, that care about you, that want the best for you, they don't care what you drive. They don't care what clothes you wear. Those are all just superficial
Yes.
sort of things.
Yes.
And
I mean, when we're dead and gone, it ain't gonna matter.
right.
That stuff's gonna be here. You're gonna leave it and go on to wherever,
Right.
It's like all this right here, I can see now my kids are coming in here and they know, this is Dad's life, I mean, like back in Detroit, I mean, they knew if they wanted to see a show, I got them into it.
Yeah.
You know, I had the walk of the town, you know, and that's like just listen, to get off this a little bit. Or I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
I was in a contest called the Face of Horror,
Mm-hmm.
and it's where people vote on you. And I got down to the end, and I ended up in 5th place.
Okay.
They had me come into the paper here, and they did a story on me.
Okay.
You know, so that was really cool. You know, I mean, okay, I started to tell you earlier with Sherry, I never told her a word about Road Dogg because I knew of her drug problem, drinking problem, and I did not want her around any of this because I knew it would create a monster. I walked away from it because of her, okay? And we lived our life. Well, 8 years later, when we found out everything that was going on, I started telling her about it, you know, and she was like, well, why didn't you tell me this stuff before? Oh, bullshit. You'd give me a line of shit. Well, this right here, she goes, we're going down the road in the truck, in a semi, and she sees a sign for Cheech and Chong at somewhere in California. She goes, all right, Road Dogg, I want to go to that concert and I want to meet him. I was like, oh, shit, you know. So I called an old friend, Scotty Ross, which he's still a manager. He's with Journey right now.
Oh, okay.
And I said, can you help me out, man? No, I'll go back. She, yeah, that's what it was. We saw that, and then I found out that he was with Journey, and I'm like, well, where are you at now? He said, well, we're getting ready to do a show in Denver. I said, I'm going to be coming right through there. I said, can you get me some tickets? He said, yeah, sure, I'll leave him at will call. He goes, what's your real name? He didn't even know what my real name was, you know. So I told him, you know, and he left him at will call. And I got in, and at this point, it was everything she could do to get, you know, and especially to walk up to the stadium, which was Coors Field, the baseball stadium, and to walk down to the main floor and to walk all the way front up to the stage. And I remember we got to the last section of the main floor, and I felt her jerk on me. I'm like, what? She goes, how close we going? I said, just come on. You know, he gave me 5th row tickets.
Okay.
And we got down there, we sat down, and she goes, I've never been this close before. I said, I've never been this far away. Because normally I'm up there doing photos and that kind of thing, you know, so I got a chuckle out of her, you know. But then after that is when she said, okay, Road Dogg. She said, I want to see Cheech and Chong and I want to meet him. So I called Scotty that set up the Journey thing for me. He goes, yeah, I know some people with them. He said, let me see what I can do. And I told him where the show was, and he called me. He says, you got it, man. He said, go to Will Call, you got some tickets. And he said, I'm working out backstage. I'm not sure what they're doing or how you're going to meet them, you know. He said, but I'll make sure you do. Because I told him that
cool.
she was in bad shape, you know. And it was the Pretenders, Journey, and Def Leppard. And the very first song they did was Pour Some Sugar on Me. Okay?
Oh, really?
And that was
They started with that?
Yeah.
I would have
That's
thought
what
they
got
would.
me.
Okay.
I know, that's what got me. And she goes, I just heard my favorite song. Can we go? I'm so tired. And I ended up having to piggyback her down the stairs and get her back to the truck, you know, because she was that sick. But she was like, I'll never doubt you again. You know, I know.
That's cool.
I know I thought you were lying to me. But why didn't you, you know, I told her, I said, it was the wrong thing for you. I couldn't bring you into this life. So I walked away from it, you know. And that's what I was trying to tell you earlier.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off. Let's get off.
That's cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.